Hello, my name's Kirstine and welcome to the very first ever Scotland's Wild podcast. We are a leading tour company here in Scotland and we thought that we should put some of our insider knowledge to good use. So we've decided to create this podcast. We will discuss all things Scotland, we'll discuss the history, some facts, travel tips, and we'll have on some very interesting and wonderful guests as well. So this is the first one. So if you're planning a trip here, if you're just interested in Scotland and you want to know a little bit more, then this is definitely the podcast for you. We're going to start each episode. This is a wee thing we're going to do. Start each episode with a Gaelic word of the day. And today, the word that we've chosen is falche, which means welcome, which is a very fitting word today as we welcome our first ever Scotland's Wild podcast guest. Today, we have two of our very own tour guides. We have Jim and Ailsa. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Hiya.
How are you doing?
Very
Good.
well.
Very well, yeah.
Very well.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, have you done a podcast before?
Never.
No?
No.
Neither have I, so it's first
It's
for
our
everything.
First time. Yeah.
All right, so you're both tour guides with us, Scotland's Wild. How long have you done that?
I've been working, I think we actually started around the same time, me and Jim. I
Yeah.
started in May, Jim started about 3 weeks later.
Yeah, started in
Yeah.
June. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how do you find it? Do you like being a tour guide?
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Best
dream-
job ever.
Yeah.
Best job ever.
It is a dream job.
Yeah.
So I've said falche, welcome. Is that a word that you guys know? Do you know any Gaelic?
Ha mi Gaelic. Gaelic.
What does that? What does it? You're gonna have to tell us.
That means I'm learning Gaelic.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
It's alright, I think I'm on my day 121 streak on Duolingo. Best place to learn Gaelic.
Okay, you'll be fluent by like
Yeah.
next week
Hopefully,
then. Next
hopefully.
episode will be in full
Fingers
Gaelic.
crossed, fingers crossed.
And what about you, Jim? Any Gaelic in you?
Yeah, a little bit. Mainly slanger, because I've got a whiskey in my hand.
That's
so
the- that's the
that's
most-
always nice.
That's the most important
But you know more
thing.
Gaelic than me. You're very good at it. Yeah.
I'm trying.
We'll have an episode where we do a whiskey tasting. I feel like
Yeah.
that's needed.
A little Lafroig from Isla would be nice.
Yeah,
Like
everyone will be all-
smoky, peaty whiskey would be lovely.
Yeah.
Actually, that might go quite well in a coffee.
It could actually.
Actually, yeah.
There's a gap in
Yeah.
the market there for
A wee
me.
smoky coffee.
Smoky, peaty coffee. Yeah, it does you.
Sounds
Yeah.
scrumptious, Jim.
That would be a wee stoter of a drink.
Right, so we're here doing a first time podcast. It's my first time doing a podcast. It's first ever Scotland's Wild one, and it's you guys' first ever time doing one. So
Sure
I
is.
feel like we all like it's a very good topic, and there's a theme here. First time of everything. So on your tours, I imagine you have a lot of first time guests, people coming on to Scotland even for the first time. Is that something that you like enjoy having? Are they excited? How does it go for them?
They are very excited. People do love Scotland. They love it a lot. Especially with Americans. Obviously, obviously America has a huge Scottish population, so a lot of people come over here to trace their ancestry and roots, things like that. Eh?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can help with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say, yeah, you're right. I'd say Americans, Canadians, Australians, even New Zealand, those kind of countries are keen to see where potential ancestors may have lived and what life is like here and what the scenery is like. But
Yeah.
yeah. And it's a once in a lifetime trip for them.
Yeah,
you know.
it seems like a lot of people from America, and especially, they just have this huge passion for Scotland. Like it's
Yeah.
actually, when you think about it, sometimes they come over and it's an absolute dream
It
to be
is-
here. It feels
it
unreal.
is. People are, they do.
Like more exciting as
Yeah.
well for like us here, having people come over that are so excited about coming
Yeah.
here for the first time.
It's nice to see.
It is nice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Jamie Fraser has a lot
Yeah,
to do with that.
you probably. I think people maybe expect to see him when they come off the
Aye,
plane, and everyone to
aye.
look like him too. Unfortunately,
Be welcomed to Scotland by a man in a kilt. That's
why we've got
what
Jim. Jim.
Well,
Aye.
welcome to Scotland. Stand up, Jim.
Shush, hold
Let's
on.
see.
Now, you might not get a selfie with Jamie Fraser from Outlander, but hey, I'll do one.
Exactly, and that's better, I think.
I'll do my best.
So obviously, people come here for their first time. There's some famous things, like when you go on a trip for the first time, you Google, if you're booking a holiday, where to see, main sites, and I think people have this image that when they think of Scotland, if they've not been before, it's Edinburgh Castle, it's Skye, it's Loch Ness, it's Glencoe. So they obviously are coming over here, and that's the places they're wanting to hit up. Would you say so that's
Yeah,
the main key
absolutely.
places?
100%.
Yeah, I guess the guests are, you know, from other countries like Canada, America, wherever, or Europe, whatever. Yeah, they're probably Googling Scotland's biggest sites. But I would say, yeah, it's places like the Isle of Skye, the Old Manor Store, for example, is a huge, big draw for tourists. Glencoe, the Glenfinnan Viaduct, which is where the Harry Potter train goes across. it's a big draw, I would say.
What is it with Skye? Why is Skye, like, obviously Skye is incredible.
Oh, it's
We've spent a
incredible.
lot of time on Skye, but
Yeah.
why is Skye is the key place to go?
I think it's more the landscape. If you are into that kind of nature thing, because in reality, there's not a lot to do on Skye apart from sightsee and hike. It's all a kind of outdoorsy thing, but it just looks the part. I feel like when you think of Scotland, you think of a place like Skye.
It's dramatic. I mean, Skye is dramatic.
Yeah.
You know, the mountain peaks are jagged, they're rugged, technical climbing, so it's a big
Yeah.
draw for mountaineers, Skye. But there's stuff for everybody to do. You
Yeah.
know, there's walks where you can go and see that ruggedness, but not be a technical climber, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a very outdoors island, you know. It's not for lots of indoor activities, really. You know, there's the odd castle, etc., but it's very much outdoors.
Outdoors.
It's feeling the fresh air, the wind, and sometimes the rain, and sometimes the sunshine.
Most
but
of the time.
most of the time the rain. But
For you
I mean,
anyway.
Yeah, I've heard you got a bit of bad luck, Jim, with the weather on Skye.
Yeah. As soon as I see a sky trip coming up, I go, right, I better check the weather, because invariably it rains at some point.
But I suppose
you know.
in like these kind of places, it doesn't matter what the weather's like. It's
I know.
still, if anything, it might make it look a bit
Yeah.
like
And
more interesting.
I genuinely get guests who live in maybe the Middle East or Mexico or the hot Texas, for example, or Florida, where they want that wild weather experience and they don't mind it one bit.
No.
And I say, sorry about the weather, guys, and they say, I'm loving it, you know. They want that
Yeah, they
Scottish
do.
experience of
Yeah.
rain, hail, wind, you know.
Well, it's much more realistic to get it in the rain and the wind.
Because
This is what we have.
Because that is the reality.
Yeah.
That's what it's like some of the time. You know, we're not always going to get in the summertime lovely blue skies and hot weather. We do get it,
We
but
do
not all the
get
time.
it, and when we do get it, it is incredible.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
So nice. It's funny because every time Jim's went to Skye, he's been hit with the terrible weather. But every time I've went to Skye, I've had really, really good weather.
Oh, gosh.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for that.
We should both go together then. It'll get a wee mixture for everyone. A bit of it
Well,
all.
actually, we did go together, and it
We
was
did.
a bit of a mixture.
It was a bit.
I
That
think.
was that was a mixed weekend. Yeah.
Good
that was
times,
nice.
good
It was
times.
good because we had 2 vans on Skye for that. That's
Yeah.
2 separate vans. They also had a tour and I had a tour, and the groups just mixed together, didn't they?
Yeah, we done it together.
We just did the
So
same
we done one
itinerary. It
big
was
group.
brilliant.
It was
yeah.
fun.
Good.
It was fun.
It was great. Yeah.
It's not a bad job then, is it? Getting to spend your days on Skye.
It's work, but is it work?
It's
really?
a hard work. It's hard work.
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
They do.
you know.
They definitely do.
It really is. It's,
You're basically going on holiday every day. A wee trip.
and I say that
That's
to my
what it
guests.
feels
I'll
like.
say, guys, I know that I'm working and I'm your guide, but honestly, I'm on holiday with you.
Yeah.
Especially these
I feel
longer
like it.
tours, you get to like know them personally by the end of
Yeah.
it. They're almost your friends in some cases. And then even now, actually, I remember my first Skye tour. It was me and Derek, another guide, and we created a WhatsApp group chat. And this was maybe 4 months ago now, and they were still talking in the group chat for New Year, like Happy New Year, everyone. Hope what's everyone? It was so.
There's like a nice wee
so
community
nice.
feel to that as
Yeah.
well. And you're
Like even they'll just pop up randomly being like, oh, what's everyone been doing with their lives
Yeah.
since the Skye tour? And everyone will just be like, oh, I've been to France and Australia or whatever. I'm like, well, I've been touring.
yeah, well, that's a lovely takeaway for if it is your first time coming over here and having that experience with guides that are obviously like relatable and they just have such a good time. Think of you as a bit of a pal. That's a really nice thing to come away from, as well as the memories of the trip.
Yeah, good memories. Good memories.
You must meet a lot of people then, like
Oh,
from
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. Every background, every job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every job you can imagine is crazy.
So you have a lot of people coming back. So if you have someone coming over and that's the first time, have you ever had a repeat customer come back to you for the second, third time and say, I'm back?
We've got a very regular customer, Geraldine.
Yeah.
She's from
I
France.
had
Have you
Geraldine on Skye for 3
Yeah,
days.
she's cool. She's a cool woman. She comes and then she goes on her tours. Goes away for a month or so, comes back.
So the first time tour must have been amazing. She's been back so often.
Yeah, she has. I think she's been on all of our tours
Yeah.
now.
And that-
she'll
Take
be,
notes.
She'll be looking
Take notes.
forward to the new tours that are coming out
Yeah,
as
and
well.
that Skye tour, she said she'd done the Skye tour with us before. I didn't realise she'd done it like multiple times and also been
Right.
on other
Yeah.
tours as well. I thought it would be like her second time, and it was only at the end of the tour. She said, "Oh no, I've been with Derek and I've been with Cal and I've been with and Oh, right, okay. I didn't realise that when I took her on tour. But she'd done the tour before, and I said, "You've done it lots of times." Yeah, but I just love coming back. And
Yeah.
I've been to this castle and I've been here, but yeah, it's
Would
great.
that be interesting as well, experiencing it with different tour guides, even doing the same tour? Because you're all amazing, but you're all so different as well. So
Yeah.
she'll have the biggest scope on the insider Scotland's Wild knowledge of all the guides. Very nice. So obviously, like we've said, Skye is a key place, of course. It's probably one of our most popular tours, I'd say, here. Well, definitely it is.
100%, yeah.
But when you're coming off Scotland, you just think castles. What castles are people most keen to go to when they come and ask you?
What castles? Eilean Donan,
Yeah,
probably the most pictured. Very small castle though.
yeah. It's probably the most photographed in Scotland.
It is stunning.
I think so.
It's got the little bridge over the
It is very nice.
onto the
Very
island.
cute wee castle, I would say.
yeah, been in lots of movies.
Yeah.
What movies has it been in?
Highlander, for example, with Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert back in the 80s. I think Monty Python's Holy Grail used that as well. Entrapment, another Sean Connery kind of heist with Catherine Zeta-Jones. I think they filmed there.
Do people come and ask for that because they know it from those films, or is it that's just convenient it's been in those films as well, or is it anyone that's set?
And it is part of the tour, it's part of the itinerary, but they do recognise it straight away. They go, where have I seen that before? Yeah, it's been in loads of films. Yeah, you know. And it's the most photographed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you buy a calendar of Scotland 2025, one of the months will be a big picture of Eilean Donan Castle, you know.
Of course,
A bit like the Three Sisters in Glencoe, iconic images you'll get on Google, or you'll have it in calendars around the world, I guess, as well. But it is an amazing castle,
Eilean Donan, what else? My favourite, Stirling Castle. It's just got the best history, in my personal opinion. What about you? What's your favourite one?
Romantic view would be Inverary Castle.
Yeah, I do love that one.
So
It's very
nice.
fairy tale looking. When you come over that wee bridge,
Yeah.
you're always trying to spot it through the...
Yeah, it's in the kind of Gothic baronial sort of style, built in the 1700s, you know, by the Duke of Argyll, and it's very
nice.
romantic. And you cross
Very
that bridge, and you tell the guests, right, guys, on the right-hand side, you'll get your first look at the castle, and you do get a kind of, wow, you know.
People love it.
They do love that castle, you know.
And what about Edinburgh Castle? I feel like as a first-timer coming over, you're Googling castles. I do think Edinburgh will always pop up first. I don't know if it's just because it's in the capital city and it's so easy to get to. You don't need to do a tour or anything to it. You can just go up.
I think that is why it's so popular. But, you know, Edinburgh Castle looks the part as well.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like a proper castle on a big dock. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good.
A bit like Stirling, it's the same, isn't it?
Stirling,
Stirling and Edinburgh sit in the big kind of, you know, the big rocks that tower above the towns or the cities that they're based in, you know. So they do have that iconic image, absolutely.
So, like, I suppose other areas that people want to hit up is, like, you want to see your but where we are today, actually, we're on Loch Lomond today, and Loch Ness. That's a huge draw for a lot of people. Why is that?
One thing, Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
The fact or the myth of the Loch Ness Monster.
The
Who
fact.
knows?
People
Might
want
be
to
a
go and
fact.
Maybe.
find it.
Yeah. No, maybe.
What do you think, fact or myth?
Myth.
Oh, where's the magic?
I'm going to sit in the fence and say
Is it an event?
possibility, because there are parts of Loch Ness, that they just haven't explored because it's so deep.
Yeah.
There
Have people seen it? Has there been any spottings?
Which,
Allegedly.
weirdly enough, I was at the edge of the loch talking to my guests about Loch Ness,
Here we go.
An old lady who was a local.
I was with you on that.
You were
too.
there.
I was.
You were there, and she literally came and said, "Just to let you know, I live here, and one of my neighbours, you know, who's an old lady, has seen the Loch Ness Monster from her back garden.
Yeah.
Because she lives right on the loch side, further up, and she's seen the Loch Ness Monster. She goes, yeah, definitely, it definitely exists.
Do you know what? I'm going to take her word for it then.
Now, either she was creating a bit of tourism for the local area, or
maybe,
or she was genuine. I don't know, but just out the blue, she came up. An old lady came out.
Yeah, it was pure out the blue.
Really?
Totally out the blue.
And we were like, okay,
Thank you very much.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, if this loch is so deep, I suppose. I mean, they say it's like giant eels or whatever that they've found in there. I suppose they could have adapted into an unnaturally big size over time.
They
you
could
know?
have.
Or evolved. evolved to suit the climate.
Well, I think if I was going somewhere else for the first time and there was possibility that there was this magical creature, I would definitely want to visit there. I would definitely want to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kind of watery beast.
Watery beast.
As
You'd want to see that.
As St. Columba said in, AD 565? That was the
what you
first ever legend, myth of Loch Ness Monster.
Was it?
Really?
St. Columba
St. Columba.
Wow.
encountered a watery beast.
Well,
when he brought Christianity to the Picts of the area.
we've got, sorry, go on.
No.
I was going to
Ask the
say,
question. Come on.
I was just going to say, we've got the Loch Ness Monster, but we've also got Morag, who is a lesser known
That's
monster
true, yeah.
in Loch Morar up in the west, the northwest.
And that's actually a deeper loch than Loch Ness.
Yeah, the deepest
That's the
loch in
deepest is Loch
Scotland,
Morar.
aye.
So what kind of monster is this?
I don't know. What
It's
kind of
apparently
monster is she?
supposedly the legend states that it's a cousin of
A
Nessie.
cousin, of course it is, so it's another big,
another
it's
big
another
monster.
big snake. A
And there's some
basilisk.
kind of, who maybe there in the past, there was some kind of underground kind of
Oh, I like that thought,
What,
yeah.
tunnel system.
something. Who knows?
This is getting quite Harry Potter, I think. You can visualise that. They're crossing over lochs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first time you're coming over here and you guys have got one thing to give the people. They want one place to hit up for the first time in Scotland. What is the go-to place for you?
For me, I would definitely go to Glencoe.
See, I was going to say Glencoe, but
I mean, it's got to be it,
it is
doesn't it?
very, very popular now for
yeah.
tourism, but there's a reason for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's stunning. It really
There's
is.
nothing for me in a good day to beat the drive as you leave Tyndrum and go up the hill and get onto the Rannoch Moor
Yeah.
after Bridge of Orchy, and you come up onto the high bit of the Rannoch Moor, look across that landscape, and gradually the road curves round. You see the Buccleuch Moor where they filmed Skyfall. In fact, James Bond, obviously, the Skyfall was filmed in that on those roads run about Rannoch Moor into Glenetiv.
Yeah, a lot of
and you go
filming
round by
there.
Buccleuch Moor down into Glencoe. It's just,
Yeah.
pretty special.
Although, do you know what I would say has become a real favourite of mine? It's like, obviously you've got the A82 through Glencoe, but see when you get to the Glenfinnan Viaduct and you drive from that road to Mallig,
Yep.
the road to the Isles, incredible. It's honestly so nice. It's so
It's beautiful,
pretty.
yeah.
And it just looks, it doesn't look like we're in Scotland. It feels like we're abroad, but we're in
Yeah.
we are in Scotland, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. No, I agree with you totally.
Because
Yep.
you've got like all the Silver Sands, Camastarich Beach as well.
Yeah. I don't know if you do it,
So
but
good.
what I'll do in my tours, if I've got enough
Yeah.
time to catch the ferry, rather than go along the main road, I'll cut down through Arisaig,
Okay.
and it takes you in the single track little beach road. It goes the same way, but it just takes a little bit longer. If I've got enough time, I'll go down that road, single track. There's little fields with ponies near the beach and stuff like that, and then you see the beaches. There's a whole string of beaches along there, and it looks out to the islands of Rum and Egg.
Yeah.
And if you get a cracking day for it,
Oh,
and you look at the
so
water,
nice, so nice.
it's literally like the Caribbean, the water out there.
Yeah.
It's so clear and blue. And if I'll do that little road, then cut back onto the main road, then go to Mallig.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
It's a
And getting
cracking
up to
drive.
these places, like some people might only come here for the first time for a few days, maybe like 4 or 5, a city break kind of thing, maybe to Edinburgh or Glasgow. But like getting up out to like Glencoe, as you said, and these places is just so important. I think some people don't even realise that. Maybe come to Edinburgh, explore the city, see the castle, which is absolutely fantastic as well. But you do need to get up and out, don't you?
Definitely
the
need to
wild
get out.
eye,
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
I mean, Edinburgh's nice and it's pretty, but for me, it's the real Scotland is getting out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think obviously Glencoe's a good enough distance that if you are only here a couple of days, you can get one of our tours up to Glencoe, up to Glencoe for the day and experience that kind of Highland. You must get a lot of wows or like
We do.
the reactions must be great.
Especially, it's Three Sisters.
You're just driving down into Glencoe, dropping down and get around the corner at the three meeting the Three Waters, and you see
Aye.
the Three Sisters ahead of you, and they're like right there, and the road goes right next to them, and it's like you do get a wow in the back of that van.
Do you ever get sick of it? Obviously, you see it all the time.
Yeah.
No, not really.
No?
I wouldn't say so.
I don't
Yeah.
think you could
I
you?
wouldn't say so. Because we get to see it in all of the seasons. That's my favourite part about. I think that is my favourite part about being a guide, is that I get to see the landscape in every single season and see how it's changed over time. You're like, oh, that's the heather going away now, or that's the gorse coming out.
The bracken coming out. It's all gold.
The bracken, the coppery.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes even when you're driving, I'll find myself driving and maybe you're not paying as much attention, and then it kind of clicks like, hold on, like we can see this all the time, every day.
Yeah.
And it's magic. You don't need to
A
appreciate
wow
how...
moment for us, definitely, I think.
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
seeing it.
Yeah.
So obviously, these are the key places. Like you come here, you're seeing Skye, you're seeing the castles. That's where you want to go, and it's where the obvious points to hit up as a first-time visitor is. But there's obviously loads of hidden gems. There's things that like you might not look up. They might not pop up in the first feed of Google to go visit. There's loads of hidden gems in Scotland. Any standout ones for you guys that maybe you would? I mean, you might not want to say your own hidden gem so that it stays a hidden gem, but there's got to be some places that people don't think to go that they need to visit.
I'd say the one that probably wouldn't pop up in your Google is, I would say, the Standing Stones or Fort Donad out at Argyll. It's even a lot of Scots probably never been there.
Don't know.
Never been there.
Every time I go there, it's
empty.
dead. It's dead.
It's like I think we're
Perfect
the only
for us.
tour. We're the only. I've never noticed another tour company's bus at all along that road, or even going to Standing Stones or Fort Donad, which is taking you right back in history to the Neolithic period. That's the Standing Stones, and Fort Donad is going back to the arrival of the Gaels from Ireland, who brought Christianity to Scotland in 500.
A very interesting part of Scotland.
Yeah, that's a real. Very, even in the height of summer, we are walking around with the guests, showing them the Standing Stones and the Fort Donad. There's never. You always get a car parking space. There's not crowds and crowds of people. So quiet.
Yeah.
A nice little glen. A lot of Neolithic standing stones and history there about the history of Scotland and the very, very almost the birth of our country, to be honest with you. And going to
that is true.
the Kilmartin village, where you've got the Kilmartin
Cute wee
slabs and stuff like that, and the churchyard with the old slabs from like the 1300s right through to the 1700s, the old knights. That's pretty special. I'd say it's a little hidden gem. It's known about, but it's not a huge tourist hotspot.
Yeah.
Which is what I like about our tour, because we go there,
Do people quite like that? There'll be places on this they have never even heard of, and they'd be like, where did we go? Why are we going here?
Yeah.
And then they get there and they're like, that's why. I'm so glad that you... I suppose that's the quite good thing about tours as well, especially with Scotland's Wild, because you do go to these slightly more smaller, lesser known places. They're getting to see things that they would never go take themselves to.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
is true. That's true. Things that Google don't show unless you really Google it. But for example, if you were to type in Standing Stone Scotland into Google, it'd come up with the Callanish in Lewis, or the one, the
which are busier.
Clavicairns. Is that Standing Stones?
Where's
or
that?
Clavicairns?
Clavicairns, it's not standing stones, but it's more like a chambered cairn.
Chambered cairn. That one is popular because of Outlander, I think.
Yeah.
But so is the Callanish as well. That was an Outlander.
That's very popular, Callanish,
But as for places less travelled in Scotland, I'd definitely say the Northern Isles or that road up. I mean, they of course do get boatloads of people up in Shetland or Orkney. You get a lot of cruise ships, but I don't often hear people going up to the likes of Shetland and Orkney for a holiday.
No, it's a long way.
I know. I think if you're coming to Scotland and you've only got a specific amount of time, that does take a whole, unless there's a specific reason you're heading up there, that does take a whole chunk of your trip. So it's probably why people are hitting up these really popular, closer to the city spots, because it's more accessible.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like us if we went to America on holiday, for example. You'd want to tick off the Grand Canyon, you'd want to tick off, I don't know, Yosemite Valley or San Francisco or LA or New York. It's those big ticket items, if you like.
Which you have to do.
You kind of have to do.
You have to do.
But I'm sure in America, here, there's places where they're not on the normal tourist trail, but they're probably beautiful, rugged landscapes and stuff like that,
There'll be tours over there saying, these are all great, but we're going to take you to this lesser known part, which is, you want that, you feel like you're actually experiencing something that locals, tour guides here have a bit of a passion for, and it's a bit more secret, and you're getting to see something new.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's loads of little secret places in Scotland. I might not want to tell you them all, to be honest.
Do you know what? I wouldn't want to tell my secret hidden gem because it's going to want it to stay a hidden gem. There must be places like that though that have been hidden gems and now they're just like they've just grown and grown. They're massive now and popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Isle of Skye.
The Isle of Skye, exactly.
Skye is busy. It's a busy island. Everybody wants to go there. You know. Height of summer, it's rammed.
Yeah.
You know, but I can see why. It's stunning. You know. But it makes the roads busy, and it's yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that's always a wee bit of like slight controversy as well with like locals and things like that being on Skye.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, it's so busy.
I think, yeah.
And it brings a lot of tourism and stuff, but you can see why sometimes they're like, oh goodness sake, summertime is horrible.
It's a famous catch-22 about tourism. You know, they want the income, they want the tourists, and it's a beautiful place to come and visit.
Yep.
But people live there, people work there. The roads can only take so many tour buses.
That is true as well.
The infrastructure is not built for having a population of 50,000 people. Only about 12 to 13,000 people live in Skye. But in the summer, when the tourists come, that population easily doubles.
Wow.
So the roads and the facilities there, can they cope with that? It's an argument that's...
Probably not.
Probably not. It's an argument that's been running for quite a while now in locals.
Yeah.
We love the income and we love the tourists, but we need an infrastructure to support that amount of visitor numbers, you know.
But I suppose that's quite good why we're like a small tour company. Our vans are small.
Absolutely.
We're taking smaller groups there at one time. They're seeing it in a peak time, but it doesn't feel like there's this massive group all trooping in at once to do our tours.
In fact, on Skye, some of the roads we go to and some of the places we take our groups, the big buses can't get there because the roads are too small.
That is true as well.
We get to places that Duntullum Castle out on the edge of the peninsula, you know, we're probably the only... I've never seen another tour bus there, I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two smaller ones like
and
us.
That's a really nice thing that we can actually do for that. It's like a lovely wee extra.
Yeah, these are nice places as well.
Yeah.
Because from Duntullum you can see right over to the Outer Hebrides, Lewis and Harris.
Yeah.
Amazing. You probably have never seen it because you've had bad
Once.
weather. But
Once.
No vision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times.
Fair.
But not that often. No. It's usually pouring with rain or grey, you know.
It's funny.
But yeah.
Any more hidden gems that we can talk about?
Oh,
not even on our tours. Even is there anything personally you're like? Right.
I mean, as you know, I'm from Ayrshire, down the southwest of Scotland. We don't really go there in the tours, but yeah, that's Burns country.
Yep.
Isle of Arran's a little hidden gem. Scotland in miniature. So the north of Isle of Arran, which you get to from, the ferry leaves about an hour away from Glasgow. You get to Isle of Arran, and it's like another world. North of the island's all mountains, hill walking, climbing, rugged castles, etc., distilleries, and in the south of the island's a bit more gentle landscape.
So it's got a bit of everything.
A bit of everything.
Yeah.
They call it Scotland in miniature for that reason.
Of course, yeah.
So and I grew up going to Arran as my family.
Yeah. Do you recommend that a lot then? If people are like, where should we go?
Yeah. So it's probably not on your Google. If you Google Scotland
best
holidays, Arran won't be there, but trust me, it's an amazing place.
Yeah.
Or Galloway down the southwest Scotland.
I used to go to Galloway on holiday.
Galloway Forest Park.
Yeah. A wee caravan.
Yeah, there's hills and mountains there, but the lower level, a bit less rugged than, say, the West Highlands. But yeah, some cracking beaches down there as well and stuff like that. And some of the coastal roads, the views are to die for, And there might even be another national park there in Galloway.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
So they're going to have
They're doing one, aren't
Scotland's third national park.
I was going to say, what one's that? So that'll be the third.
So we've only had national parks since 2002. Yeah.
You could probably make half of the landscape a national park here. There's so much that you could.
A lot of it is protected though, with like national nature reserves and sites of
special scientific interest. But as for national parks, we've only got the three. We've got Loch Lomond de Trossachs, which was 2002. We've got Cairngorms, which was 2003. And there's consultation now for a third down in Galloway in southwest Scotland, the Galloway National Park, but it's still in that consultation between landowners and farmers and locals and stuff like that, as to whether they want it or not. Because there's benefits and there's also disadvantages for locals as well. But Galloway's a little hidden gem, which the tourists from abroad don't. You'll get people from England coming up with their camper vans, or you'll get Scots going down there for a weekend. It's like a little weekend place for us to go to.
But for the wider visitors, it's not.
It's probably
really
not
on the radar.
It's probably not on the radar, but it's nice. Yeah.
With the likes of Ayrshire as well, I feel.
Yeah, I mean some of the stuff we've got.
Holiday in Ayrshire, but
we've got a couple of cliff top castles down there as well.
Very nice.
Got some nice coast roads that, you know, looking at beaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Culzean Castle.
Culzean's amazing.
That's a brilliant one.
Yeah.
Culzean.
Yeah.
Culzean.
Culzean.
That's
Looks like Culzean,
Culzean, but it's
Culzean. Yeah.
You'll probably get a lot of people saying that wrong, looking at the sign, like many signs in Scotland, but yeah, you probably get a lot of people saying that
It's like
wrong.
Mulgai and Milngavie.
Milngavie, yeah, of course.
If you're enjoying our deep dive into the breathtaking landscape and rich history and culture of Scotland, then why not come and experience it all for yourself? Here at Scotland's Wild, we offer small group tours and unique private tours with some of the best guides around. Travel the Highlands, explore ancient castles, learn new stories and find some incredible hidden gems. A magical tour of Scotland is waiting just for you, so join us at Scotland's Wild and make memories that will last a lifetime. Visit www.scotlandswild.com to learn more about our upcoming tours and book yourself an adventure today.
Well, so obviously we've talked about the places, the hidden gems and some key locations that people were probably thinking about on their first time visits. But in more generic hints and tips, I suppose, you're coming over here, people think Scotland, they think terrible weather. Like if someone messaged you saying I'm coming, what do I need to know? What do I need to know before I come here? What am I bringing? What's the weather?
Well, you know what they say, it's 4 seasons in one day here,
Yeah.
right?
That's certainly
So,
true.
bring a jacket and a
Bring
pair
a
of
jacket,
shorts.
bring a warm jacket, bring a waterproof jacket, definitely bring a waterproof jacket. You know, you need that.
Yeah.
Chances are you might get rain at some point during your holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Decent footwear. If you're going to be coming on our tours specifically, we like to get you out the van, walk you around little
Yeah.
forest paths, maybe go up a little hill occasionally and stuff like that. So bring some decent footwear. But yeah, be prepared
Just
to
be prepared
layers.
to be warm
Layers.
or stay warm.
Yeah.
It is very important because there's nothing worse than
Yeah.
going out absolutely freezing, especially like gloves and things. You don't want your hands getting cold because once your hands are cold, your day is ruined.
Yeah, or your feet as well.
Yeah.
Or your feet are
Yeah.
wet, that's you. They're day
Oh,
ruined.
nothing worse than wet feet. You have to do a whole 8 hours.
Yeah.
They must get people though in the summertime, because we do get, we do say the weather's terrible most of the time, but we do get
Oh, we do.
some lovely days.
Beautiful
Yeah.
days, yeah.
And I suppose there might be people coming over at that time that, because there's this stereotype that it's so bad, they come over in summertime packed for the winter, and then they come over and
Do
it's
you know-
actually glorious.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that I think people believe that we don't get sun
At all.
whatsoever. Like, because I have been asked, like, do you ever get sun? And I'm like, do you know, we do get
Yeah.
nice weather here. Just not this year or last year, 2024.
2024 was pretty
Yeah, it was
poor.
pretty
It was, the summer was horrendous.
It
Yeah.
was
I
bad.
mean, I think I had about 6 skies between July and August. And I think about 3 in a row. It just rained.
The whole time.
I mean, rivers of water running down the streets. And the local people in Skye said they'd never seen it so bad. In the summertime anyway. You know, you expect
Yeah.
that kind of rain in October, November, December, January, obviously.
Of course.
But yeah, to get that in the summer was just horrendous.
Saying that, I think September
Yeah.
and October were our best months.
Yeah, September,
last
October,
year.
even into early November.
Aye.
We had some really nice
really,
weather.
really nice weather.
The weather at the moment, certainly for 2024, was just like thrown on its head. July and August
Aye,
were
it
terrible.
was weird. Even today is really nice.
It is
Do you
really
not think
nice.
The past
Yeah.
week has been really
It's
nice.
been that
weather-wise?
crisp, cold sun, which is my
Yeah.
favourite weather here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I think it
absolutely.
looks absolutely stunning.
No, the days are shorter, but you know,
Yeah.
when you do get sunshine at this time of year, it's amazing. You know, crispy,
Yeah.
cold, clear
Very
days.
nice.
So layers is what we need. We need
Layers,
You need
yeah.
all
Aye,
outfits.
layers.
You need your shorts
Yeah.
for the summer, but you also need the trousers that you can attach back on for the rain.
And literally, our client has said that to me. They said, "Wait, I think we've had a heavy season today, Jim," because like by the end of the day, it was like, you know, glorious sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was taking off her puffer jacket and putting it in the bag and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to dress for the.
Just be prepared for any weather.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do people come with any like misconceptions? I suppose they come here maybe expecting some stereotypes, and they come and they go, "Oh, that's not what we thought it was," or "That's not what the pamphlet or Google Images made it look like." Is there things like that you find that you have to explain actually?
The first thing I get in the morning usually is at some point in the van somebody will say, "So Jim, do you wear your kilt every day?"
Do you not wear your kilt every day? What?
No,
Don't tell anyone that. I thought you did. Every time I've seen you, you're in your kilt.
Well, you'll only see me in a pair of jeans and a Metallica t-shirt. So,
Oh, right.
You know. But yeah, they kind of think that a
Metal.
Scotsman will metal rules. But no, but yeah, they'll ask me if they wear my kilt every day. Is it just the job and do you enjoy it? And what he wear under my kilt, etc.
Oh, right.
But I always say a Scotsman never tells what he wears under his kilt, you know.
They don't. That would be rude.
That's
It would
funny.
be rude. But I get that.
Yeah.
Don't know what else. I'm trying to think what else little misconceptions about it. Apart from the weather, that is.
The people, I don't know, people just got about playing bagpipes maybe. Although, to be fair, when you do go up into the Highlands, there you will no doubt see someone playing the bagpipes.
You will.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Usually
I know.
Glencoe at the car park.
Glencoe, yeah.
There'll be a
very
lone
popular.
piper with his little hat looking for a wee bit of cash or whatever.
Fort Augustus.
Fort Augustus
There's
at the
always
Loch
a
Ness.
piper
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
I know it's quite funny
Yeah.
because you'll be like, you might not, like, we don't play bagpipes ever, you might not see it, and you turn the corner at the viewpoint and there's some guy standing there and you're like, oh no,
Oh, no. Yeah.
he's not always there, I swear. But that is a nice thing for them to see,
It is.
even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
always everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do get them obviously busking in the cities, so it is nice for them to experience
True.
a bit of the...
Do you know, now the more we talk about this, the more that you do see bagpipes every day. Really is popular.
You'll see bagpipes and you'll see a bagpiper in every corner in Edinburgh.
Oh,
Obviously.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the Royal Mail's probably got about
Yeah.
5 bagpipers who've got their spots everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the bagpipes? Do you like them?
I like the bagpipes. I'm a big
They
bagpipe
sometimes-
fan.
They
I'm
get
more of
you
a
going.
bagpipe,
They get you going.
pipes and drums
Yes.
band,
Yeah.
rather than a lone bagpiper standing at my ear when I'm trying to tell my guests all about the history of a castle and there's a bagpiper going, you know,
I can see why that would be
I'm like,
slightly inconvenient.
mate, can you just can it for a bit while I talk to my guests here, you know? So yeah, it can be a wee bit, especially at the Three Sisters car park, you know. It's nice, but then you're trying to tell them all about the history of the Glencoe and the massacre, and then you've got a bagpipe
interruption,
droning at your back of
Yeah.
you, you know. I'm more of a fan of the bands, the full pipe band walking up the street, you know,
Yep.
the pipes
No,
and
that's-
drums.
yeah,
that's
I love
cool.
that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
that's
quite
great.
stirring to the blood, I think.
Oh, 100%.
You know. Yeah, if
And
you
what
got-
about like coos and ginger people? They're everywhere, aren't they? According.
where are,
Everywhere.
Where are all the healing coos, Jim?
Yep.
I thought
number
it
one
would be
question.
healing coos in every field as we turn the corners. And it's like, sorry to disappoint you, but they're not everywhere. You
Yeah.
know.
But you do have to try and get them to see one on their first
Oh, I
time.
always do. Yeah,
Yeah.
always do.
Yeah.
Even I still get excited when I see a Highland. You always stop the car, look out the window, take a wee picture. 'Cause
Yeah.
You have to see them.
I mean, on our tours, we have a good chance of seeing one.
Yeah, we
on
stop at places
every
where we
tour,
can see
pretty
them.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which is nice.
the young baby Highland coos are to die for. Obviously.
Oh, they're adorable.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
You know, but I can see the attraction.
Yeah. I think
But I
when
suppose to us sometimes we kind of it's just
it
a cow.
is. It's just
you know,
a cow.
just a cow.
but it's
Because
not, is it?
It's not.
It's not.
We've grown up with them, though. do
I
you
know.
Yeah.
But they're not in every corner. They're not in every field. I mean,
No,
uh,
and I do think people think that they are maybe when they come over, they're expecting it, and then it's just normal.
it's just
cows
normal
and
cows.
sheep.
Yeah, just normal cows. You know.
The fascination with sheep was something I was
Oh,
not
God.
expecting.
Yeah.
No, they
because
really
we are
to us
so
they really
used
are
to it,
just
yeah.
like yeah, it's a sheep.
So used to
I know
it,
they're
but
everywhere, but
People really love them.
they're like, oh my goodness, a sheep, a sheep.
Where we go to Standing Stones at Argyll, right? I'll be, you know, telling my guests all about
Aye.
the history of Standing. Sometimes there's sheep in that field because a farmer owns that field where the Standing Stones are. Obviously, it's managed by Historic Scotland, but a farmer will have his sheep in that field, and you have to watch your standing sheep poo. And I'll be telling them the story, and one of my guests will go, "Jim, shut up! There's some sheep there. I'm going to get a selfie with some sheep." I'm like, guys,
There's
it's
not
just a
even
sheep.
any
It's
point in
just a sheep.
telling a story while there's sheep
No,
around, to be
yeah,
honest.
I'm just like.
Do you know the ones at the standing stones? I don't know if it's anywhere else, but the ones in the standing stones I've noticed go down like on their elbows, if that's what you want to call it.
Well, they're hunkers.
Aye, and they start eating the grass. I always point it out, like, look at that one, that's
Yeah.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
See it every time.
And I'm like, guys, it's just a sheep.
It's just a sheep.
You know, we have literally
Yeah.
millions
Well, it's the
of
little
them.
pleasures, isn't it? It's the little pleasures in life.
Yeah.
That is
and
nice.
if they don't see a sheep every day, you know.
Aye.
Yeah. You get your tours, you get people coming over all the time for the first time. Is there an obvious question that you get asked all the time when people first come on the tour that they want to know about Scotland? Or is there anything that it's just a key thing that you're always like, oh, right, here we go, like, that's a known question?
Oh. There is a lot. There is questions I get asked every single tour, and it's not like about the history. It's not about anything to do with the tours. Usually, it's usually like, oh, what do these people do for a living?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
the Highlands. What do they?
Yeah. So where do people work here? You know, there's
Yeah.
no, you know, what do people do for jobs in the Highlands? So, yeah, but it's actually an interesting question. I quite like talking about that.
Yeah.
You know, it does make them. They are obviously thinking about other than just nice tourist spots to come and photograph. They're thinking, right, what do people do for a job here?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Bagpipe on the corners of
Bagpipe.
Edinburgh.
Buskers.
work in a bar, run a hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So so let's say someone's listening to this right now and they're in their house thinking, I kind of want to go to Scotland, I want to book that trip, but I'm still not fully 100%. What would you say to them each to convince them that they should be coming to Scotland?
I would say
Come, see the mountains. There's no predators here. There's no chance of you getting eaten by anything.
There's
Although
midges.
there is midges, right? There is midges, but come before May, you'll be sound.
midges or the haggis might eat you.
Or the haggis.
The
Or the wild
haggis.
haggis in the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come, we are very well known for our hospitality. It's very good, and especially within this company, I think it's very good.
Actually, you made a point about hospitality.
Yeah.
I'd say that is probably a very good reason for coming here.
We're all very friendly, aren't
We're
we?
so friendly.
Friendly
Just people
bunch.
you meet, not even me as a guide with my guests, but people you just meet in the street. People go, hiya, how you doing, and stuff like that. They'll see that you're a tour group and people will talk to you. We're a pretty friendly bunch,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
No, definitely.
And my guests say that all the time. Say, God, you're so friendly here. So they've maybe been to, for example, some of the bigger cities in England or something like that, or London, for example. They'll say it's so busy. People don't have time
Yeah.
for you. It's like being in New York and you get bustled by the subway and stuff like that, and the streets are so busy and people just don't have time. They're a bit rude. One thing they get up here is a lot more courteousness, friendly. So yeah, that is a big thing that we kind of take for granted here, I think, sometimes, because you live here. And we don't think, maybe sometimes we don't think we are particularly friendly, but it's probably one thing about this job I've learned. We are pretty friendly people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I've been out and about and doing this job for the last, 7-8 months or something.
Talking to all, because we go to the same places all the time, you do get to know some of the locals quite well,
Yeah.
which is always fun.
Yeah.
So even with us, they're friendly enough.
So we've got the chat and the scenery and everything, like whiskey in the
We
castles.
do, yeah, whiskey, massive. People love whiskey, and we've got
Yeah.
plenty of distilleries.
Yeah.
The Highlands, I don't know, there's only 5 million of us in Scotland, and most of us live in the Central Belt. So you can really just have two different worlds so close to each other. Whereas in the likes of America, you're travelling for days.
Pretty far.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's a really good thing about.
Yeah, it's quite a special
good
part about
quality.
Scotland.
Yeah, we're
Scotland,
quite a
yeah.
compact
Yeah.
little country. You
Yeah.
can see lots of different kind of scenery and stuff, cultures within a
In a
pretty
short-
small area, pretty short space of time.
Cultural wise as well, like we do all live pretty differently.
And the accents as well
Yeah.
across such a small, there's a lot of different
Yeah, a lot of different accents.
cultures.
Mental.
Yeah.
Like we've
Yeah.
got the Gaelic, you've got up in like Aberdeen, the Doric speakers, and then the Glaswegians.
Yeah.
Even even Lanarkshire or Ayrshire. Ayrshire
Ayrshire's
has
got
its
a
own
real-
accent. Lanarkshire has
Real
its own.
old Scots down
Yeah,
there.
aye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you find that some people coming here don't understand what you're saying sometimes? Ever had someone say, "What did you say? I have no idea what you just said."
I have had that quite a few times, but for the most part, I think I'm quite clear at speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
feel
mean,
like you're a good speaker as well.
I think from a job, I'll probably slow down and be a bit clearer speaking to people, because I know that I'm speaking to people from all different parts of the world in my van. But I'm sure if I was having one of my pals sitting in the front seat with me in the van on the tour, if
Be a
they were
bit
to listen in, they might not be able to understand it a little
Yeah.
bit. In fact, I remember one of my early tours, I went with James on a tour. We were in the front seat and there was some guests in the back, and just me and James were having an informal chat about something and talking fast in broad Scots. And one of the guys said at the next break, the next stop, he said, "Jim, I heard you talking to James in the van there. I couldn't understand a word you said." But then when we turned and spoke to the guests about some of the stuff, they understood us perfectly.
You're aware of it and you're like, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James is very good at changing his accent. I feel like he's got a very strong Glaswegian
Glaswegian,
accent.
he's
It's like people have a phone accent, but you guys have a tour guide accent.
It's a bit like people who do telephone sales.
Yes.
They'll have their phone sales
The
job
polite voice.
accent, but then they'll go home and speak to their friends and stuff like that and speak totally differently.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a bit more relaxed and, you know, local slang and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't get any issue with it for
No.
me.
No.
But they
They
can
love
usually
when we
understand.
say we. Like, oh, a wee bit. Just
wee
a
bit.
wee minute.
Just a wee minute.
Quite a lot. Like, wee.
Just a wee bit further up the road, they'll say, when's our next bathroom break, Jim? Just a wee bit further up the road.
What?
What does that mean?
We do put "we" in front of everything, even though it doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't warrant it. We don't even need it.
No,
So
no,
I'm going for a wee walk, or
Yeah.
like it was a wee bit. Like
I
we put it
remember
in
my
front of
kids were
everything.
younger, used to go, Dad, can we go here? Can we do this? Just in a wee minute. And
What's
then it
a
was
wee minute?
A wee minute. I said, but Dad, what is a wee minute? Is a minute not just 60 seconds? Ah, but it's a Scottish wee minute.
It's totally different.
It's different. It's an indeterminate amount of time.
Yes. And go back to the thing, you mentioned haggis there, right, very briefly. So I think when you come to Scotland, if someone says to me, I'm coming over, what do I need to try, what do I need to do, as opposed to sightseeing and tours, I always am like, right, get haggis, try get to
some
a
haggis,
Cayley.
yeah.
Did you say that these are points that people
Yeah,
are always
gee,
trying to
yeah.
tick off, bucket list?
Haggis,
I'd
taste a
say,
couple of
yeah.
different whiskies maybe. Listen to some traditional music, either just in the pub one night or a Cayley, as you say. You know.
Cayley's are a lot of fun. You
Yeah.
love a Cayley,
I
Christine?
do
don't
love
you?
a Cayley.
Do a bit of Cayley
And a
dancing.
Cayley's not
you
done
know.
right unless you come out with like bruises all down here,
Yeah.
sweat
Dripping
pouring
with
off
sweat.
you. You do
Yeah.
look like you've been through something terrible when you come out of one and you're like, I had a brilliant time. It's been so good. But that's a good Cayley.
Yeah.
I think you need to experience
Yeah.
one for the first time if you come here.
Yeah.
Cayley, haggis, trying haggis is a must. Because it's delicious.
That is
It
delicious.
is delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. Haggis neeps and tatties, haggis bonbons, haggis supper from the chippy. You know, there's so many.
It's such a versatile food.
varieties.
People
of
don't think
haggis.
that. You could have it breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's
Well,
versatile.
you do have it for breakfast as well, don't you?
You do wee slices
Aye,
on your
with your
full
black
Scottish
pudding.
breakfast.
Do you know what I always think? See, going to a gig, like going to see your favourite band, but in Glasgow, maybe in Glasgow more so, but I think it's good vibes in Glasgow.
They do say a Scottish crowd is one of the
Yeah.
best. Well, I don't know if they just say that when bands and all that are
Yeah.
playing here, but they do say when they're here playing, this is the best crowd, or you'll see videos of the Scottish crowd because it's just on a different level too.
Yeah.
I suppose we've seen that from the football, our fan base and the
Oh,
pride for
aye.
Scotland
Yeah.
in any sport, or even anything. If we're
That is
representing
true.
Scotland, like the togetherness of us as a nation and how much we have pride for
Yeah.
Scotland is.
Very proud.
You know, mentioning
definitely.
bands, I did have a guest actually one of my tours that the night before they'd been to the Hydro to see, I think it was a metal band, Sleep Token or Sleep Within or something like that, one of those kind of bands, real goth hard metal band. And they came to Glasgow for that gig only, and then came on a tour with us obviously the next day.
Nice.
But yeah, it's funny how people would come and pick that, and they picked Glasgow because they'd heard about the reputation, it's
Yeah.
been a great live audience and stuff
And
like
that goes
that.
back
you know.
to that friendly thing though, because we're
Yeah.
all just
Yeah,
here
that's
to have a
true.
good time. And we like a pint and we like a good time.
Yeah,
So I think that's quite a draw for some people.
We do like a pint. We do.
yeah.
Maybe a bit too much. But Glasgow is a World Heritage UNESCO site for music. I think it's very good.
The Barrowlands are
Very up
famous.
there.
you
Yeah.
know.
For the music scene, Glasgow is.
I suppose that's one thing as well,
Yeah.
like coming to Glasgow. Maybe people would some people skip that out if they're coming.
Totally skip that out.
100%.
Which is
Terrible.
Crazy. Terrible. It is terrible. But we're biased.
Yeah, we're all Glasgow.
We are from the West
I know.
Coast. You know, I worked in Glasgow for
You know what
25
I've
years
said
before doing this job.
in one of my videos, actually, that my top 3 locations, one of them was Glasgow, got absolutely rinsed for it.
Why
But
Glasgow?
I stand by, come
Hmm.
to Glasgow, you just get, it's a good vibe. It might not be the best looking city, or,
I think you're
you
talking
know.
it down there. I think you're talking it down.
we do
know.
have a lot
But I
of
think
nice
we do talk
buildings.
things down in Glasgow. I think that's our
Yeah,
our thing.
it is
We're
a
always
weakness
like,
of us.
"Ah."
We do talk down things quite easily.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Actually,
Yeah, but it's good vibes.
I mean, I think Edinburgh. I get it. It's got the looks.
Totally.
It's got the
Totally
history,
does.
etc. You know, it's got the castle and all those lovely things. And it gets a lot of people coming to Edinburgh and the Royal Mile and all the gift shops,
Mm-hmm.
etc. But I think Glasgow's a bit more real. It's got maybe a better sense of itself, you know, less touristy, but a lot of nice things for the tourists to go and see if they want to come here, like lovely museums and galleries.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it genuinely is, I think, a little bit of a friendlier city. you know. I think even my guests have said that. They've said, look, they get a real sense, but they've had a couple of nights in Glasgow maybe, I had a few nights in Edinburgh as well, and they've said, yeah, Glasgow's, just a little bit kind of more accessible and a little bit more friendly, less touristy and
laid back. I get quite a lot.
Yeah,
laid
quite
back,
chilled out.
Glasgow.
You know.
Although Edinburgh is good for a night out. You go, like, is it the Grass Market?
Grass
yeah,
Market.
there's a lot of really nice areas.
there
Yeah,
is.
for like restaurants and stuff as well. There's like more key locations, I think, in Edinburgh. But yeah, no, Glasgow. Big Glasgow fan.
I mean, you could
Big
argue
Glasgow
that,
fan,
Glasgow's a wee hidden gem in a way.
Glasgow is a hidden gem. A wee.
It's a big wee
A
hidden
big wee
gem.
hidden gem.
How big a hidden gem? Just a wee one, you know.
Well, I think maybe people are surprised by that when they come to Glasgow.
Yeah,
They're like, oh,
yeah.
they weren't even going to come here, or just plan a day trip. And then when they get here, they're like, oh, could have done longer here or stayed an extra night or something. Well, guys, I think this has been a fantastic way to start off the Scotland's Wild podcast. Thank you for joining me and discussing this kind of first-time hints and tips and just a starter episode for our podcast. So thank you so much for doing this with me today.
Thank you very much.
And it's lovely to have your expert guide knowledge. We're going to have to get you back on and we'll deep dive into a specific story.
Anytime.
Or
Yeah,
something.
we should. I know Jim is dying to tell the Glencoe massacre.
He is
story.
dying to tell us
He's
that.
dying to tell it.
Dying to tell the Glencoe massacre and the Picts and everything.
I'll take
man.
Robert the Bruce.
We will get into
Oh, you love
that.
Robert the Bruce. You've got a man crush on Robert the Bruce, haven't you?
If I was 700 years younger,
Bruce,
I'd
total
tell you,
Bruce crush.
shoot
I'm
my
calling
shot.
it Bruce.
Oh, you were born in the wrong time.
Queen
Bruce crush.
Queen Bruce.
Careful how I say that. Bruce crush.
Bruce, it's a tongue twister.
The greatest king of all time. What are you talking about, Jim?
Right, next episode you heard it here first.
Thank you very much.
So when are you next on tour? Any tours coming up?
Saturday, off to Skye for 3 days.
Skye. And then we are going on a training trip to Orkney.
Yep.
I'm
Christine,
also
you're coming
joining.
Cannot
now?
wait.
I think it's
going
going
to
to be a
So
good time.
excited.
I've not been to Orkney, so I'm very excited.
And they call it work.
And it's work. It's
I know.
work.
Ish. Is it,
We've
is
said
it
this
work?
before.
Is
It's
it work?
hard. It's a dirty job. We've said it before.
Yeah.
It is a dirty job, yes.
So every episode, I'm going to try and get people to leave with a wee thing that I'm going to ask them, and I just want you to say your favourite Scottish phrase or word and what it means, and why you use it, when you would use it.
Lang may your lumreek. It's the only one I could think of. Lang may your lumreek, which means long may your chimney smoke, which means have a good and happy long life, essentially.
That's a nice one.
I like the term a stushy.
Oh,
A stushy. Do you know what a stushy is?
do you know what? I've heard it, but now it's gone out of my mind. What is it? Tell us what that is.
If me and Niels had a wee stushy,
of course,
we had a wee argument, a wee fight.
Oh, a wee stushy.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a stushy happening outside the pub tonight.
Have you had a stushy with Ailsa? Or?
Never with Ailsa.
No,
Never
no,
had a
of
stushy
course
with
not.
Ailsa.
No.
But yeah, a stushy. I love a nice stushy.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so there we go. Thank you very much again, and I'll hopefully have you on separately, and we can do a deep dive into any sort of topic of your choosing.
Very good.
Can't wait.
Thank you
Very
very
good.
much. So there we have it, the very first Scotland's Wild podcast. And what a lovely wee hour it has been chatting to some of our incredible guides. It's really nice getting that insider knowledge. So if you're coming to Scotland or you're just interested in learning a bit more about our country, make sure to like, subscribe and follow this podcast, because we'll be uploading monthly episodes with lots of different topics. We'll deep dive into specific histories, more travel recommendations and a lot more, and with different guests from all across the country. And a big shout out to the Oak Tree Inn in Balmaha, which sits on the bonny banks of Loch Lomond, for hosting us today. They offer great food, drink and accommodation, which is absolutely perfect after exploring the outdoors of Scotland, so make sure you check it out. That's us all finished. It's time to say bye, or as they say in Scottish Gaelic, Mar sin leave. Bye for now.